Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie and Trina. She is joining me today because she is more of a professional, I think, at this red leather, because today it's all about
Vintage Boardwalk crabs, the red leather crabs.
Yes, we want
because Laurie's feeling a little crabby.
Just do we. All right. So to start with, I do want to show that we are going to give tips on both the embroidery and the sewing versions of this Vintage Boardwalk quilts.
Because either way you do it, it's going to turn out beautiful. But we have some easy tricks for both ways.
Absolutely. First, we want to show you where the crab is located on the Vintage Boardwalk. It is so cute. He's hanging. Look at that. I love it.
And down here in the corner, we have him hanging from the pier.
It's so darling.
So there's two sides to the crab.
Yes, and this is the embroidery version. This is the sewing version. Very cute, isn't that? I love it.
It's gonna look great. It's gonna finish out your quilt really nicely once you get your crabs done on the red leather.
All right. To start off with, we wanted to show you this red leather. It's so beautiful. It's got like a pearl sheen to it.
And it's soft and flexible.
Very flexible,
Goes
soft.
very well with the project.
Yeah, very nice. All right, to start with, we're going to give some embroidery tips on the crab and how you're making that.
Yeah,
so,
if you're going to machine embroider this crab for the Vintage Boardwalk quilt, you'll want to use a really great tearaway stabilizer and go ahead and put that in your hoop.
And it's like a paper. It's not just a fibrous one, right? This tears super easy, and there's a reason, right? You'll show us that in a minute.
Yes.
Okay. So to start with, it's in the hoop. We could just have the stabilizer only. Then it's going to stitch an outline, and then we're going to turn the hoop over, and we're going to cover it with a piece of the red leather on the back, taped it down, and then a piece of red leather on the front, taped down. And when you're doing the stitching, as you can see, we've got our matching bobbin with each one of the colors, and those are the three colors that we've used.
Yes, we chose those three colors because you want it to look great from the back and from the front.
Yes.
Because he'll be hanging from your quilt.
Yes. And you don't have to do these exact colors. Make it your own. You can do what you'd like. We just wanted to let you know what we did.
I noticed in the book that the stitches are illustrated with black outline.
That was so you can actually see the outline, because red on red, it doesn't show up really great on an illustration,
in our instructions, yes.
So we have illustrated it with black. You can use whatever color. If you'd like black, great. If you would like red, you can do whatever color you like.
Make it yours.
I love that. All right, can you show us the tip then about the tearaway? Is that what?
Yeah, this is why you want a really good tearaway stabilizer, is because when you're finished stitching, you're going to remove this from the hoop. Then you're going to tear away that stabilizer. So you will tear it before you trim. So give that a nice tear.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then you will want to trim around that crab a ways from those stitches to give you a great crab to hang from your Vintage Boardwalk quilt.
I love that.
And then there's no stabilizer sticking out of the edges.
And this is like our raw edge applique almost. It looks just like similar to that.
You're
I
gonna
love
leave
that.
edge raw.
Very good. And this does not fray. There's no worries. This does not fray at all.
No.
That's what I love about this.
We can do raw edge with this leather.
I love that. All right, to start with the sewing version, these are some great sewing tips. First of all, I photocopied our template out of the book, and we've got, this is wash away sticky back, and this is available. You can go to your local quilt shop. They'll have this. Or you can get it in sheets in a craft store if you can't find it at your local quilt shop. And right here you can see that I'm going to be peeling this away. So I don't want to trace on the paper side. I only want to trace on it's kind of like a fibrous side, and that's the side that's basically it's made of starch, and it's going to be able to wash away. So what we will do is we'll take this, placing that fibrous side up, and I've got a water soluble pen, and I'm just tracing. And you can trace both the inside and the outside. The outside line is a cutting line, this blue one. You can see that blue line is a cutting line, and the black is where you're going to be stitching. So it's up to you which way you want to go with that. I'm going to just show you out here how I would trace it if I were just doing the black side. or the black line, sorry, which is my stitching line. And then I've also traced the cutting line so you can see the difference. And then simply...
And this is a great tip because there was no way we could have put the leather on the light box and been able to see through
tracing and to trace onto the leather too.
Yeah, so this is a really great tip for the sewing version.
And then you simply peel this right off and you would just stick it right on your leather, just like that. And actually, then you can put it right in your embroidery hoop and you can stitch, hand stitch what you would like to hand stitch. Now what we recommend hand stitching are the eyes, the two eyes with the white satin, and then the fill it in with the black. And that's about all you really need to hand stitch. You can hand stitch the mouth or you can machine stitch that with a triple stitch. And then as you can see, this outline is the outline that you would just stitch on your sewing machine in a triple stitch. And that is what we've done on this right here. This one was stitched on the outside with a sewing machine right there. And this was hand done, and then these eyes were hand satin stitched. It's so cute.
So you don't have to do a lot of hand stitching to make the hand sewn version look great. You can use your sewing machine to do the outline of the crab.
And a few tips with that. The first one would be, you can see I don't have that red piece on the back yet because I would want to stitch the two eyes in the mouth first. And make sure that you get a needle that has got a sharp point. Don't use a ball point. And it's a sturdy one. It's not a thin one that's gonna bend when you push it through the leather. Well, and this isn't in the hoop, but I want to show you how easy it is to push through the leather. So it's really not a difficult, it's not really hard to push through that leather. So it's great.
It'd be quite easy to hand stitch.
Yes, yes. And then you will add your back piece right here, and you'll just take that and you'll add it. And then if you've noticed, I've left a little bit of extra sticky, and you can just wrap it right around and it holds your back piece in place for you. And then you can take this to your sewing machine, and that's when I would stitch around this if that's what you preferred, was to stitch it with the sewing machine like we did. If you wanted to hand stitch it, you can just continue to hand stitch it, but you still want that back piece on when you're doing the outline outside of the crab. And when you're done with that, you end up with the exact same. It will look just like this.
It'll look great either way
and you just cut. So this is water soluble, like I mentioned, and that is great. You just drop it into a little pan of water and you just rub this and it just disappears.
Cool water will just dissolve the stabilizer.
Yes.
And you don't even have to worry about the ink smudging onto the leather. It won't smudge onto your leather.
Yeah, and you just, cool water, that was the key. And here's another cool, I got an even better trick. If you want,
of course, Laurie has a better trick.
I want to take it one step further here. All right, so if you get something like this that's a printable, we printed this on an inkjet printer and we pulled it out of the printer just like that. And I simply can cut the crab, just cut around the crab, so that's all I'm really gonna need.
So I won't even need a light box for this.
No, you won't. You can just go right around that. And then you simply peel this apart, because this of course is the wash away sticky back. It's the exact same material. And then you just stick that right onto your, and you don't even have to trace. It's already there for you. And then you can stitch the two eyes in the mouth. Then you add your back piece. I'm gonna still this one over here. And you add it on, take it to the sewing machine, and you stitch just the black lines. And you still have your blue lines there if you want to use that to cut first and then wash it off.
And there
that's
again,
so simple.
It's okay to put this leather in a little bit of water,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the ink will not smear onto your leather.
Comes right off. So there we have it. Lots of good crabby tips. I love that. So I hope that you'll enjoy, whether you're making the sewing version or the embroidery version, you are gonna love your Vintage Boardwalk quilt.
Good luck with Vintage Boardwalk.
Thank you, bye-bye.